let me show you how you can pack personal item only for an entire trip. So this is going to work whether you're going away for 3 days or 3 months, and whether you're a man or a woman. So packing for a personal item only is pretty cool because you can pack so light and you don't need to get those extra like upsells that the airlines give you. Yeah, you need to pay extra just to put your little carry-on in the plane. And it annoys me too, yeah. Anyway, why should you listen to me? Well, I've been a traveler for the past 10 years. Pretty much half the year I've been out traveling. On top of that, I am also a professional wardrobe organizer. So, yep, I know what I'm talking about here. So, what on earth is a personal item only? Well, it's essentially the small bags that you can fit underneath the seat in front of you on the planes where you keep your legs generally. So that comes with a couple of restrictions. First of all, the airlines usually will give you specific restrictions on this. They will vary a little bit, but I figured before I show you all these cool tricks that I'm going to show you, I'm just going to give you the measurements here, like the minimum measurements, so that you will generally be good if you are beneath these measurements. So I'll do both centimeters and inches here. Let's start with inches. The bag should be under 17 inches tall, under 13 inches wide, and under 8 inches thick. For us non-Americans, that's going to be 43 centimeters tall, 33 centimeters wide, and max 20 centimeters thick. Also, under 15 pounds or 7 kilos, you should generally be good as well. Like I said, this is going to vary a little bit from airline to airline, so definitely check the website of the airline or airlines that you're flying with and go out from the lowest one. Definitely stay under the measurements though. My sister flew with like one of these cheap flights once. I think she paid like $30 for the ticket, and then she had to measure her bag, like personal item only, and it was a little bit too small, so she had to pay another $80. So they definitely can get you there if you're not careful. Anyway, let's get started with the packing here. I want to show you how you can pack and save tons of space when you do this. Another thing you could do is definitely get one of the bags that can expand a little bit, so that when you get off the plane, especially if you're going on a longer trip, you could expand the bag when you're off the plane, maybe fill it up with some stuff that you pick up there. Otherwise, a little tote bag that you can bring along with this one should be cool as well. You can put the tote bag inside the bag and then take it out when you land. So I really want to show you how to stay organized in these bags as well. And I figured the best place to start, both to save space in addition to staying organized, is going to be on how we pack and which garments we pack. So first of all, I want to give you a big tip that's going to help save you tons of space, and that's going to be to use items that have multiple functions. So for example, if you're going to a beach, a sarong is awesome. If you're going to stay somewhere cold, maybe a buff is awesome. You can also use this one on a plane to cover your eyes and keep it on your neck. It's a hat, it's awesome. Besides that, also you want to make sure when you're packing that you bring colors of clothes and types of clothes that's going to be easy to pair with other clothes that you're going to bring. So that's going to be often a little bit neutral colors. You can see I like black quite a lot. That is generally because black stays stain-free quite a lot longer than other garments. I really am a big fan of denim when it comes to packing as well. But this isn't about me, this is about you. So you should go with whichever clothes you're most comfortable with, but I really recommend that you do bring clothes that you can easily match along with each other. So for example, if you have 3 t-shirts, maybe one is white, one is gray, and one is blue, all 3 of those should be able to match with, for example, your pants or your shorts, all of them, so you can mix and match easily there. And I really want to address something that many people seems to love, and that is going to be merino wool. Everybody seems to recommend, yeah, merino wool is awesome, but it's not like a miracle thing. First of all, merino wool, it's very delicate, so if you're going to pack merino wool, you need to be very careful that you don't tear it or rip it or wash it the wrong way. It doesn't last very long. Also, it's very expensive. Now, it is very good clothes, especially in colder climates, because it really keeps in the warmth. It's good in the heat as well, but it's sometimes not as comfortable, especially if you're going with the cheap stuff. In the past, I would really recommend merino wool, but these days I would say, to be honest with you, I would rather go with something like bamboo rayon blend. Those also help like keep the smell away, which is like the big thing about merino wool. You can wear it forever without smelling, kind of, but not really. Same thing goes for these bamboo clothes, but they don't keep in the heat the same way. They do wick away the sweat. Synthetics are also awesome, especially travel-friendly synthetics. These are called ex officio. These are actually, I'm almost ashamed to say this, but these ones I bought over 10 years ago. And it's my oldest pair of underwear. Why am I saying this on video? But they actually dry super fast. They seem to be very durable, and they were very cheap as well. I am a big fan of just using what you have. Maybe you can invest in pieces here or there, but just use the clothes that you love. You can always wash them, especially if you're going on longer trips. I am a big fan of cotton as well. I generally just travel with cotton t-shirts. I think they're awesome. Swimming pants for hotter climates. Of course, if you're going somewhere cold, especially in the winter, you need to pack a little bit thicker clothes, and that's kind of a problem with these really small bags because hotter clothes are generally more bulky. So here is what you need to do instead. You need to wear the bulky clothes onto the plane. It's not always the most comfortable to do this, but that is going to save you tons of space. So as you can see, for the occasion, I'm wearing a jacket and a hoodie here to help keep warm. My next trip is going to be a motorbiking trip to Vietnam actually, so I'm probably going to have to bring some of these hot clothes as well. So I'm gonna bring them onto the plane. I'm gonna wear it. Same thing goes for shoes. Jeans are awesome for travel. Another thing that I'm really starting to like is to bring old clothes when I'm traveling. So what I really like to do is to bring, for example, an old pair of sweatpants, and I'll wear that onto the plane, because when I arrive at my destination, then I can toss away the sweatpants if I want to wear something more appropriate, and I'll go buy just a pair of jeans, for example, if I need a new pair of jeans. An old hoodie, can throw that away and get something nice as well. You could also do that with garments inside your bag if you want to replace them when you arrive someplace, or if you are afraid that you packed wrong, then you can replace it with something new that you buy and toss away the old garment and still have that room in your bag. And you definitely want to pack for the destination you're going to and not for the plane. It annoys me to no end. You know, I'm interested in this, so I always get this recommended in my feed on YouTube. And I see these people that bring all these little gadgets. They'll bring like big neck pillows on the planes that can't even be inflated. And then they're going for a biking trip in Korea for a month, and I have to lug that thing around with them. I mean, it's beyond silly if you ask me. So pack for the destination, pack for where you're going. Don't pack for the plane journey. The plane journey is just going to be a tiny part of your trip. So yeah, forget about all those silly tips that they give you. It just takes up extra space and is unnecessary. Now, the amount of clothes that you pack generally will be the same beyond 3 or 4 days. At that point you will need to start washing clothes. So what I have found the best is to wear one set of clothes. I'll generally wear the heaviest ones, for example a long sleeve, hoodie, jacket, pants. Then I'll bring along lighter clothes like t-shirts, shorts if I'm gonna wear that. And yeah, I'll start washing them. If you're going very short trips, you could probably stretch it and just wear the clothes until you get back home. But once you get past a certain point, you really need to start washing clothes. I've made a huge video on that in the past, so I'm gonna link that up here if you want to check that out afterwards. But what I will say is that washing clothes in the sink generally will be fine wherever you are if there is not a washing machine available. Also, you could go out to a laundromat, of course. I've started to bring some of these. These are like little laundry sheets. They're pretty awesome. These are from Kind Laundry. I can add a link in the description. They're my current favorite. They're dry as well, so they don't take any, they don't spill and they don't get messy. It really is the best way to do it. So I'll just bring some of these depending on the length of my trip, and I'll just put them into a little paper or an envelope, and I'll fold that up like this, and that goes perfectly in my luggage as well. If you're interested, I'll add a link in the video description. I'm a big fan of them. Alright, so the next part of the video I want to talk about here is packing. That's going to be my favorite part, so I'm going to show you how to roll up your clothes. That's definitely the way to go. It's the most space-saving way that you can pack your clothes possible. When it comes to rolling, I have a lot on the channel. I've also put together a cheat sheet over on organizing.tv/pack that you can download for free if you want like step-by-step illustrations on the 5 most space-saving ways that you can fold all your clothes. That's free, and I'm gonna link it in the video description as well if you're interested. But let me show you here as well. So rolling clothes, that's going to be the one thing. The second thing is packing cubes, compression packing cubes. That's going to help compress down the clothes even further. Let me get started here. So the way that I like to do it, I don't have any skirts or dresses, but this works the same way with skirts and dresses as well, by the way. Is to roll them up together. And I'll bring 3 sets of shirts, 3 sets of underwear, and 3 sets of clothes in the bag. So if you have a dress instead of a t-shirt, for example, or you have a long sleeved shirt instead, this is going to be the same. So what I'll do is that I'll place the underwear and socks on top of the t-shirt facing up, flip the bottom underneath like this, flip the arms in on both sides, and then we fold in 1/4 the width of the t-shirt on both ends, and we start rolling it from the collar all the way down. If you roll this tightly, it's going to crease up, by the way, so be a little bit gentle with it. And like this. Then we flip it over, turn it around, flip over the other side as well. And here you have an entire day's worth of clothes. If you have packing cubes, this is awesome because they will fit perfectly into your packing cubes. This is a medium-sized packing cube, so you get them in all sizes. Perhaps it could be recommended that you use 2 of these small ones as well if you're going to invest in packing cubes and you want to travel like this. The small ones are easier to move around inside a bag, but I'm going to use the big one here for today. By the way, if you're afraid of wrinkling up your clothes or you don't like folding them together, you can just roll them up individually as well. It's totally fine. I just found that this is a great way to do it because then you have the t-shirts and to pick out your set from, and the underwear and socks doesn't really matter that much, right? So then you can match your top with your bottoms, and you can even bring more shirts if you want to have something as an outer layer as well. In addition to that, you don't need to do the pocket part. The pocket part does crease up the garments a tiny bit, but it really does compress them down further so that they save more space than they would if you don't compress them like this. And there we go, add that into the packing cube as well. You can see they're nicely lined up pairs, right? Let me show you on the shorts here as well. Shorts are pretty simple. You can do the range roll for those as well, but I'm just gonna fold them over in half and roll them up quickly like this. Put it in there. And I actually have a second pair of shorts here as well. As you can imagine, it's quite easy to match when everything is black and black. I just really like black clothes when I'm traveling because they really don't stain very easily. I just find it easier that way. So if you want to range roll your shorts, this also works for pants. I have a better way to do it on pants. It's in that cheat sheet that I talked about, if you want to check that out. 1/4 on this side and 1/4 on this side, and then we start rolling. Jeans can be a little bit tricky to do this fold on, or like stiff clothes. This works totally fine on skirts as well, but if you have dresses and skirts or even shorts that wrinkle up easily, you may want to just roll them up without the pocket part. So I'm going to stuff it in here, and here you can see super easy to see what clothes you have, right? Super organized and neat. Close it up in packing cube. If you want to save even more space, you can invest in these compression packing cubes that I'm using, and you can actually compress the garments down further. Keep in mind that this will crease up your garments a tiny bit more, so yeah, it's kind of the theme here. You sacrifice a little bit of creases to save tons of space. I'm going to add links to my favorite packing cubes and probably the backpack as well, by the way, if you want to purchase any of this stuff that I'm using. So like that, and then we can kind of just shape it to be perfect. And here you have 3 days worth of clothes inside a tiny cube, and we're wearing one set, we're wearing all the heavy stuff. If you're gonna bring extra pairs of shoes, I would recommend against it, but obviously if you decide to, wear the heaviest ones always, and put your other shoes into a little plastic bag and put them at the very bottom of your little personal item bag there. You can also use plastic bags to put your dirty clothes into. You roll them back up, put them in a plastic bag, and then you can store them along with the clean clothes, and it won't like leak dirtiness or smell over to your clean clothes. Other items you may want to bring, for example, a towel. Now, personally, I am not big on bringing towels on trips because I find that generally accommodation will offer towels, but these small microfiber cloths are fantastic. They do absorb tons of water, and as you can see, the form factor is very small. Now, you do have bigger sized towels than this as well. Here you can see I have done that pocketed fold on this. It's called Ranger rolling, by the way. And it's quite small form factor, and it fits perfectly in packing cubes as well. But like I said, I generally don't bring towels. To be honest, I don't usually bring shampoo and stuff either, but I can talk a little bit about that here next, after I'm done with the clothes. To be honest with you, in an emergency, if there is no towels available, I'll just use the little buff, or I'll use a clean t-shirt and wipe myself down instead of bringing a towel, since we have so little space, right? So now we can take our packing cube, and it fits directly into our bag, like that. And we still have plenty of room for other fun activities. For hats and like sunglasses or anything else that you kind of need to bring but you don't want to squeeze inside your bag. I like these little carabine, is that what it's called? These little hooks That way I can just take my sunglasses. Obviously don't do this with expensive sunglasses or stuff that you're afraid that will get stolen. Then you should put it inside your bag. But you can hook these on. Let's do the hat too, because why not? And then you can hook that onto your bag when you get on the plane, and you can just keep it chugging along. Okay, so that's all about clothes. Let's talk about toiletries next here. And just move it out of the way a little bit. So toiletries, it's fun to pack for a personal item only because you have a lot of restrictions, but you can usually get around it. It's quite a lot of smart solutions I have for you here. So the first thing I'm going to recommend is that you use a clear bag. You can usually get clear toiletries bags online, or you can have one like this that is just see-through. Alternatively, you could have that one that you can just zip open and just open up, because usually when you have liquids or like sharp stuff, the people in the security will need to see what you have inside there. Here's my stuff, big comb. So the thing when you're packing for carry-on or like personal item only is that you can only bring liquids that's under 100 milliliters or about 3.4 ounces. And at the maximum, all of these things needs to be able to fit inside a 1 liter clear plastic bag as well. So you're quite restricted in some ways, but that just makes it a lot more fun to pack, if you ask me. In addition to this, you can't bring like dangerous goods. So dangerous goods are gonna be like knives and like safety razor blades. Now you can bring the actual razor without any problems, but the blades are a problem. If you have the regular razors with like the throwaway blades, like the multiple blades, that's fine to bring. But safety razor blades, no. As for scissors, the rule is that if it's beneath 10 centimeters from like the point where it splits out, then you should be good to bring it on the plane. I have had them confiscated if they look big, so do as you will. Probably don't bring expensive scissors, or make sure that they're small. But being able to bring scissors is awesome, especially if you have a big beard. I also have like some tools for like combs and stuff. Usually you can get travel sized combs and big pink ones like this, or like big horse combers like that. Same with the toothbrushes. I usually just bring a full-size one because I don't like the travel-sized toothbrushes. But what I do like in travel sizes is going to be stuff like toothpaste, deodorant, especially things like perfume and beard oil, shaving cream. And for you ladies, that's definitely going to be makeup as well. You can usually get small travel-sized ones, or you can get dry versions of some of the makeup. In addition to this, one tip that I will give you is to bring samples, because they will be perfectly sized for travel. Not over 100 milliliters, small enough that you can pack multiple ones, but big enough that you have enough for your trip. And one thing you always must remember when you're traveling: wherever you go, humans are generally gonna have the same needs as you. So if you decide to forgo the deodorant, toothpaste, you can always buy it when you arrive at your destination. Then you can buy the big ones, especially if you're going on a longer trip. Then you don't need to restrict yourself to these little things. And when you're done with your trip, you can just toss it out if you haven't used it up, and you are good to go again onto the plane without having to worry about this. And for that same reason, I will not bring shampoo or like hand soap or anything like that with me, because generally you will also get it available at the hotel. Of course, if I have any specific shampoos that you need to use or like some special face wash, definitely bring a small bottle of it. But yeah, if you can't get away without bringing it, it's always going to be a big plus, because you can save space in your bag. Also, you can get like little small travel-sized pouches almost that are like under 100 milliliters that you can, for example, squeeze some of your products into. I am a little bit iffy on those because I have had some bad experiences with that, with them starting to leak. But definitely be careful that everything is screwed up in general, so that you don't like leak all over your garments and stuff. And if you have sharp items, don't put them next to something that you can puncture, because then you will also make stuff leak all over your stuff. So fun. And on the plane too, right? Where everybody can see and smell it, and yeah, not good. I would also probably double pack my stuff inside like 2 plastic bags, just to make sure in case it like explodes or something inside the plane because of pressure or something like that. or buy something that's like high quality if you're going to use different containers. Two other things that I like to bring on my trips is going to be first a little travel kit of like sewing equipment, because if something rips and stuff, it kind of it's not fun having ripped clothes, and then you're going to wear them around for like months. If you're going on a short trip, you can probably forego this. Also, the small needles are generally okay to bring on planes. If you have medical items as well, you can usually bring it on planes. Just make sure that you bring your prescriptions. I think also breast milk is fine to bring, even though it's over 100 milliliters. Talking about prescriptions and stuff, other things that I like to bring is like this little emergency pouch here, where I will bring things that you often run into needing when you're on trip. So say for example, Imodium, what's it called? Loperamide, hydrochlorine is the stuff that stops your belly from, well, if you get food poisoned, you know what happens. Also, always bring some painkillers for those days when that's needed. I also keep like Q-tips and what's it called? Toothpicks. And of course condoms, because sucks to be stuck without those. And I usually just put that into a little pouch here. Definitely check the dates and replace it when it expires. And the condoms, if you don't use them, definitely replace them, because friction, not good. So I'm going to pack this all back up. Like I said, I keep everything liquid in one side, and I have this other side as well where I put everything that's solid. And now when we arrive at the airport and we need to take it out for a security check, we have everything easily available. They can super easily see everything that's inside here. And I'm gonna put this into my bag here. As you can see, it fits perfectly here as well. Okay, so the next big one is going to be your electronics. So this is a big one for me, and probably the one that I spend too much space on, because I am a content creator, so I need to bring like some extra stuff. If you're a man, I like to put the razor in with other electronics, and I keep all my electronics in a bag that's super easy to open, because just like the toiletries, you generally need to show all your electronics when you're going through security. Also, it's super nice to have it easily available on the plane, so that, for example, if you need a charger, you have it super easily available. If you need to grab your laptop or anything like that, you have it available easily as well. So things you definitely want to bring with you when you're traveling. First of all, the phone is going to be a big one. For most people, just a regular phone, like an iPhone or like something like that with a good camera, it's going to be awesome for your trip. That way you don't need to bring with you like a camera, a big computer and all this. You can do most of this on your phone, right? So you can save tons of space in your carry-on bag just on that. So you definitely want to try to limit yourself with your electronics, since you have such a small bag. I usually bring a laptop, a mouse and a keyboard as well, because I need it. In addition to like dongles and hard drives and that type of stuff. AirPods or like earbuds are going to be super nice to have on the plane, along with some audio on your phone, books, podcasts, even music, if you don't want to use anything on the plane. Super nice to be entertained that way. In addition to this, I strongly recommend that you bring chargers that can charge multiple items at once. Also, if you're going to different destinations, different countries, different continents where they use different outlets, you definitely want to bring a little travel adapter. This you can check online before you travel. That way you know if you need to bring like a little brick like this. They make them a lot smaller now. This one is 10 years old. But having one of these can be really nice. If you don't have it and you need it, it's horrible, because then you are stuck without power until you are able to buy one of these. So definitely bring an adapter for different outlets if you do need it. Also, I would say if you can, bring extra long cables, because if you're going to stay at hotels, you never know where the outlets are, especially if they are a little bit older. They're usually not built for phones and laptops and that type of stuff. So bringing long cords can definitely help you out tons. Now, two things you need to be aware about with electronics and traveling with carry-on. That is, first of all, generally you can't bring a drone in with you in a carry-on. In addition to this, if you have like power banks or big batteries that are over 100 watt hours, you need to contact your airlines and ask them if you can bring them onto the plane as a carry-on. Generally, it's okay up to about 160 watt hours. For most of us, it's not going to be a problem. If you have a big gaming PC laptop, it may be a problem, like big cameras and that type of stuff, but then you're not really going to travel like this anyway. So what it generally comes down to is if you have a very big power bank, you may need to check out if you are able to carry that in your carry-on. Besides that, you should be good with electronics. Just remember that you need to take all the electronics out and have them visible when you go through the security point at the airport. So we're going to pack that up as well. And since we have everything in these nice cubed systems, it's going to be so easy to pull this out when we're at the airport. You can see this fits perfectly. But what I'm going to do first is to put my laptop here at the back. I have this sleeve here. And make sure that you don't put a lot of pressure on the laptop so that the screen don't crack. That would really be a horrible start to your trip. Okay, so let me put in the keyboard here as well. And now I'm ready to close up this compartment. So I have this theft-proof bag. You don't need that, but it's kind of nice to have if you have all your expensive stuff in a bag. I can link this one. Otherwise, using little lock. If you don't want to spend money on like a theft-proof bag, 80% of that job is going to be to bring just a little padlock that you can lock your backpack together with. Just make sure that it's openable in case people ask you to open the bag at the airport. What I like about theft-proof ones is that you can actually, like this one, this is my slightly bigger bag, but this is like, it can't be cut through. This one can be cut through. So it's something to keep in mind. It does happen in some countries, and especially at some airports, if it's super busy, people can steal your stuff. So be a little bit careful with that, especially if you're gonna hang stuff outside it as well. So we also need to talk a little bit about documents here. That's very important, right? I like to print out all my documents and have them as a backup in case something happens, in case my phone runs out of batteries, in case they're weird and need paper copies. Also, I do the important pages of the passport inside. In addition to this, I really recommend that you bring a pen. You don't need a chewed down one like this, but a pen is going to be so useful when you travel. If you don't have a pen, you're going to have to ask other people. If you do have a pen, other people are going to ask you. But that's fine to borrow out the pen. Just make sure you get it back because these are so nice to have. Your passport, of course, you need to bring it. Keep it somewhere safe. Don't keep it somewhere where people can easily steal it. And of course, I like to take both a photocopy and to take a photo of the actual passport, just so that I have backups in case it gets stolen, because this is the most important thing you have with you. You generally also should bring some type of money with you if you want to buy stuff. Many people like to bring a little bit of cash, especially if they're going abroad. Dollars and euros are two strong ones to have. You can always exchange it around places. Also, if you bring a tiny bit of the local currency so that you can get for like taxis or transport until you can take out more money. Many people like to do that. I've stopped doing it because usually you get bad rates if you get it from your local country. Also, it's an extra step to do. Usually you can just go to the country you're going to, go to the ATM there at the airport and take out a little bit. You usually get bad rates at the airport, just keep that in mind. But I mean, you need money, right? One little hack that I've found is to use, there are two companies that I've tried out. One is going to be Wise and another one is going to be called Revolut. These two companies, they have really good rates. They have some things with the banks. They give you really good exchange rates if you use their cards to withdraw money. I can add some links to them in the video description if you want to check them out. Personally, I prefer Wise, so that's what I'm going to recommend, but Revolut is a good option as well. So we're going to go ahead and pack our money and passport somewhere easily accessible, but still super safe. For me, that's going to be in here, because I have the theft-proof bag, but just keep in mind that you need to keep this stuff safe. In addition to everything that you brought in your backpack, I also recommend that you bring an empty plastic bottle. Some people really like to hammer on about these reusable bottles, and that's good for the environment for sure, but the problem with the reusable bottles is that it's just like with a neck pillow thing, right? You need to carry it around with you on the entire trip. If you're going to use it, that's cool, of course, reusable. For me, I usually just need something that I can drink at the airport and drink when I arrive. Because when you get inside the airport, you can't have with you liquids through the security point. But once you get through the security points, there are usually like water refill machines around. So you get free water. So just bringing an empty plastic bottle, like a Coke bottle or something like that, is perfect. If you don't bring one, I often forget mine, just buy something inside the airport at the kiosk or something like that. It's like more expensive, but you get a plastic bottle that you can recycle once you're done with your trip. When you're going back, you can buy a new one. That way you don't need to drag it around with you and the entire trip. I also like to bring food with me on trips. I guess that's kind of a big thing here, since you're trying to save money with the backpack, or if you just like to travel light and be adventurous like me, that's super cool. You're my type of people too. But you're bringing food. I found that pizza is a good one to go with. Be a little bit careful with food that smells. Also be careful with food that spills, and foods that people can be allergic to, so especially nuts it's going to be a good one there. Otherwise that would be perfect. Also loud foods like chips and that type of stuff, it's like think about it a little bit. It's the golden rule, right? Do unto others as you would do to yourself. So if you would get annoyed by people eating something specific beside you, don't bring it on the plane. Besides that, I really just want to encourage you to pack lightly. Generally, you will find that everywhere you go, people have the same needs as you. Also, if you're thinking, oh, should I bring it? Should I not bring it? Don't bring it. You can always pick it up at your destination. It's not a problem. It's really not. Don't be scared. It's not like the trip is going to go terrible if you forget to bring, for example, I don't know, an extra sweater or something like that. If you really need it, just pick it up at your destination. Yeah, it's not a big problem at all. And if you have any questions or you need me to clarify anything, feel free to ask me. I'm more than happy to help out, guys. This is one of my favorite topics, as you can clearly see. Anyway, definitely go ahead and download my free packing cheat sheet. It's going to help you save so much space so that you can pack your clothes like this too. If you're considering going on a trip and packing for personal item only, it's really going to help you pack so much more clothes by using those packing hacks. So head over to organizing.tv/pack, or you can tap the box that appears right here right now, and you can head over there and download it entirely for free. Enjoy. All right guys, have a great trip, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.